Today we're going to talk about time value of money. This concept is very difficult for a lot of people to comprehend, and I don't blame them, because understanding time value of money is but it is one of the biggest pitfalls, and I feel that is something very important that we need to discuss. All right, so let's get down to it. All right, so first of all, time value of money is when it's a concept of the value of money over time. All right, so today's time value, like if you are a Namibian, you remember 10 years ago, 10 years ago, taxi was about $5. Today, when we look at the taxi, it's $13. Now, the distance did not change. All right, the distance did not change. The drivers didn't change. The quality, value of the car didn't really change. So what happened? You are traveling the same distance, but the money has changed over time. So that's what we call time value of money. And it is caused by a few factors. One is inflation. Inflation is caused by the printing of money and basically the movement between demand and supply of both money and goods and resources. That's one of the biggest things that affects time value of money. So we can predict with 100% certainty that, well, 99.9 certainty that over time the value of money will fall over a given period. So in 20 years from now, we know that a $10 will be worth $5. 20 years from now. Usually it takes about 20 years for the value to have itself. But there's a lot of variables that happens in between the 20 years. But inflation right now in Namibia is at 3.5, which in itself is a whole other discussion. We'll have to have a real talk on inflation. But let's talk about time value of money. All right, what does it mean to understand that, to know that whatever $10 you're holding today, what is that knowledge worth? Knowing that the $10 you're holding today will buy half what it can buy today in 20 years time, right? The power of that knowledge, it puts you in a position where you can now strategize in terms of where you are going to put your money so that it doesn't lose value. Basically, the money, where are those? Where did I put those coins? Where did I put it? Anyway, basically the value of money. Let's imagine this is a $100 bill, right? $100. Over time, what this can buy is going to fall. And that's going to, depending on where I put it. Now, if today this $100 is able to buy this item, what I want to be able to do financially is 20 years from now, wherever I put this $100, it should still be able to buy this item. This is not growth in capital. You are not making money. It's just capital preservation. All right. And that is a tricky concept, because a lot of people think when we are giving, if inflation today is at 3.5%, if by the end of the year you have from your $100 January, in December, if you have $103, right? You didn't grow your money. You kept the value of the money. All right. And so the goal of most of the funds is to, at the very least, beat inflation. Inflation was really worse during the COVID times, but the goal of every fund is to basically beat inflation. And if the fund can beat inflation while not risking too much, then you are left in a position where you are not losing money. But if you give back, and there's a proverb in the Bible where this parable of the sower, where God gave different talents to one. He gave talents is money, and to one he gave him 1 talent. And what he did was he took the talent and hid it under a rock, or buried it. And then when God came back, or the Lord came back, he gave back the 1 talent that God had given him. And God was very disappointed because he understood the time value of money. And he said that at least you should have put it in the banks, that way I would have interest. But now you have hid it under a blanket, and now it's not going to buy what it is worth. And a lot of people are doing this with their own God-given talents, where you're taking your talent and hiding it. You are burying it, and when you die, you are taking it back to the Lord. The concept behind it is not to get too spiritual, but it's about you understanding that because there is a demand on the current value that you have right now for it to grow over time. You cannot remain stagnant. Stagnant in itself, because everything else is growing, is actually falling, right? So whenever you're saying that you are stagnant in one given area, maybe this could be a life hack or whatever the case is. If you are stagnant in one area, you want to make sure that you put yourself in a position where there is growth. And I want to point out something, because now I'm going on a rant, but I want to point out something, that the environment in which you put yourself affects it. In the same parable, God was saying at least you should have put it in the bank. He put it in the ground, and that environment does not bring interest. It does not pay interest. So depending on where you position your finances, that will determine your return on investment. Whether you are buying a property, whether you are buying a car, whether you are buying food, it's all investment. And you just want to make sure that you have the concept of value over price, value over the dollar. You want to be able to accumulate value as opposed to just being conscious about price.